Yeah. Hey. Well, yeah. Goonies never say die. You know what time it is. We got horror suspense. Listen, Kevin Trav digging in the bin. Dirty Dancing and Encino Man. You never know what you'll find in Uncle Doug's bin. What's in the bin? Yeah, Uncle Doug's bin. He's got all these flicks from way back when. Marty McFly and the DeLorean. Gotta love the Cajun, whatever he's in. Face off Snake Guys, you know it's a win. What's in the bin? Yeah, Uncle Doug's bin. What's in the bin? Yeah, Uncle Doug's bin. What's in the bin? Yeah, Uncle Doug's bin. What's in the bin? Yeah, let's begin.
Welcome to Uncle Doug's DVD Bin, the podcast where we take your favorite movies, give you the facts, tell you the plot, and there might even be a few jokes along the way. I'm your host, Travis.
I'm your host, Kevin.
And it is I, the owner of this podcast and guest, Haley Bechtel, here. You should be honored.
Yay.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, oh, we are. It's so good to have the boss in the house, right, Kev?
Yeah. Boy, you really got us with that whole loophole and everything. Ooh. You know, I had someone look at it, and it looks like you're in charge, boss. And I'm glad. So glad, really.
Good.
Yeah, I tidied the office and everything, so it
Travis,
should be
the
good.
coffee is a bit cold. Could you please?
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. I forgot. I made some this morning, and I slipped my mind. I'm so sorry. I'll get. Sorry about that.
And Kevin, did you bring these pastries?
Well, I made them myself.
Oh,
he always does.
Yeah, I want people to feel at home.
They're a bit dry, but
yeah.
It's fine. No, they're good. They're good.
I was thinking the same thing.
Probably would have been better if the coffee would have been warm to go with them. You would have never noticed they were dry.
You don't even drink coffee, Kevin. Shut up.
Okay, all right. Okay, listen. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Haley, obviously we're excited to have you here, providing us some great leadership that's coming to the podcast. So that's going to be
about time.
Yeah, it's about time, isn't it? So really excited about that. And Haley, let's catch everybody up on what's going on in Haleytown. What's new with you?
I have been making a bunch of art as usual. I have a page called Quiet Revelry Studio, and I post some stuff on there. I've also been working on music, on recording an album, and that is happening. So that I don't have anything else to say, really. That's it.
That's a lot of great stuff going on. You got art, you got music. Travis, what are you doing with yourself?
Oh, I'm handing over my life's work of a polymedia network to someone else, I think. So that's what I've been nervously up to.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And glad we got that paperwork sorted out. I had to have the guy look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Haley,
he was helpful.
Yeah, very helpful. Since it's your show now, I'm sure you have some maybe some changes or anything.
Yes, I've decided to do away with Uncle Doug's dusty old sticky bin. Just really tired of all the sticky, gooey DVDs that are coming out of there, and I figured I'd just pick one. You know.
Just pick them. Just get
Kev, quick. Can we do a quick sidebar, Kev?
Yeah,
can we do just a real quick sidebar?
We can do
Sorry,
a sidebar.
boss. Just real quick.
Yeah,
time is money, boys.
Does Doug know about this?
No.
When he comes back and he realizes the bin's gone, we're gonna be.
Well, I don't know what to do about it other than we have to do what the boss tells us. I mean, I don't like it. I mean, frankly, the podcast is named about the bin. How could you take the bin from the podcast? I don't know. But look, she's just here.
I mean, we already took the Uncle Doug out of it. He's not even here either. So maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know.
Trav, listen. Hold on. Wait. Come back here. Get back here. Listen.
I'm okay. Sorry.
Listen.
Yes. What?
She's just here for this episode. It's not like she's going to listen to the other episodes. We'll just do whatever we want when she leaves.
Okay. You said it, not me.
Okay, all right, good. Let's head back.
But okay,
we're going back. Yeah, Haley, that's a great change that you decided to make for the podcast. The
stinky bin, stinky DVDs.
You know, because like on your Jurassic Park episode that I listened to last, there was a lot of talk of how sticky the DVDs were, and we just can't be having that.
God, definitely.
So you do listen to the ones you're not on. That's fun.
I need to know what it is I'm producing here.
Well, anyway, great. We can all agree that we're really excited to cover today's movie, Little Miss Sunshine. Now, Haley, you obviously picked this movie, so you must have a special relationship with the film.
I do. I love this movie so much. It is a formative text for me. And I try to watch it every few years or so. I think I saw it for the first time when I was probably like 10. No, I think I was probably 12. And I distinctly remember baking chocolate chip cookies and watching this movie and just being like, this is incredible. Like, this is just a perfect evening. And yeah, it just makes me really happy.
Was it the cookies? Do you think the cookies were just really good? Or?
The cookies were good, but it was just about the combination
Yeah.
of the two things. Like,
Do you still pair it with cookies?
I
to this
should.
day? Is that still part of the...
I did not have
Yeah.
cookies for this last viewing, but it was still delightful. And
It's a good thing Kev didn't make them.
I love it more every time I watch it. Like, I just look forward to every little detail, and it's just a treasure. What about you guys? What'd you think?
I really enjoy my visits with this movie. I forget, but I'm just like, oh, that's an indie movie from like 2006, right? And so between watches, I kind of forget how lovable the characters are and how enjoyable it is to like see them go on that journey together.
Yeah.
I think that's more, I mean, there's a lot of themes of like winners and losers and what it means and, you know, family and all that. But I just love to watch the journey the characters go on. So
yeah, me too.
I can't say that I've rewatched this movie as many times as you have, but like, every time I watch it, it strikes me like, well, that's kind of a delightful movie.
Yeah.
Little Olive is just so delightful.
Oh, she's just so delightful. It is just a delight. Yeah. Travis, you're kind of quiet down there. What's better not have any criticisms?
Yeah, I think it's... Oh, no, it's an interesting movie. I find most of the characters rather detestable, but I do think that the journey is fun. And I like a lot of the situational comedy from having the different characters together. And we'll see this a lot in the a lot of the reviews I've found. But having Dwayne and Steve Carell's character together is like I just want to see a buddy comedy with those two.
Yeah, they're so good.
I really just like them together.
Me too.
And I thirsted throughout the movie. I just wanted to see them do stuff because they were my favorite. But
Can you?
yeah, delightful movie. I watched it the first time 20 years ago, and probably I was in college, probably a weird headspace. I was like, this movie doesn't have tits or explosions, so it's fine. But it's a better experience now. I can kind of reflect on it through a different modern lens, and things that I didn't notice then, I notice now, and some of the things like bother me more about the movie, just subject matter wise, just because it resonates in a different way. But I think that's good. It really I like a movie that makes me feel things, and it did that this time, so that was good.
I love a movie that makes me feel things. In fact, that's like really kind of what I'm after in movies and books and anything. Like, I want to feel something, and this movie makes me feel kind of all my favorite things about life, basically.
Is that what brings you back to this movie so often?
I think it is just that you said like the journey of these characters, and I think that it's just that it's about the fact that life is this journey that is so like full of struggle and chaos and darkness, and happens, and it can be really bad, and sometimes it's just absurd and ridiculous, but like you figure it out, you find your way somehow, and I don't know, there's so many things that resonate with me, but yeah.
Travis, you said the characters are detestable. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
Yeah, grandpa's a pedophile. Dad's full of.
Whoa.
Wait,
the
Gramps
son
a
should grow up
pedophile?
a
What do
little
you
How
bit.
mean?
is the grandpa a
Yeah,
pedophile?
dude, 100%.
No way.
Oh, super
Wow.
duper pedophile. dude,
Misinterpretation,
100%.
I think. Yeah. Just because he has just because of Olive's dance routine, is that why you're saying that?
Well, that, and he wants Dwayne to have sex with lots of young girls because they're ripe then. and all that.
well-
it's kind of weird. And they get a lot of alone time together. I don't know. It was icky.
Wow.
As a father of a 7-year-old, I would not leave her alone with Alan Arkin, even
Oh,
as an
man.
actor, much less a character.
Oh, that's sad to me because I think he really loves Olive and like from a very genuine, totally wholesome place. And yeah, he's like rough around the edges as a person, but I do not think he is a pedophile, and I'm offended by the mere notion of it.
Yeah,
That's wonderful. We're off to a great start, Kev.
I kind of, I mean, I'm not trying to side with the boss here, but I kind of side with the boss on this one.
That's a good move, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you. I don't think the grandpa character is intentionally written as a pedophile. Like, I just don't think that's a part of that character.
Would you leave your 7-year-old alone with that guy?
Yes.
I was left
Would you let her
alone with
sleep
that
with him?
guy when I was a kid. Like, he reminds me of so many members of my family.
You turned out great.
Yeah.
Oh, this is in that case.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything's fine, Travis. Everything's fine. Do we have any more of those cookies?
I
Anyway,
would love to
I'm glad
unpack that, but yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We'll explore all of that and more later. Well, we'll also explore the release date for Little Miss Sunshine, which was July 26, 2006. Directors Jonathan Dayton, Valerie Ferris, written by Michael Ardent, starring Steve Carell, Toni Collette, Greg Kinnear, Abigail Breslin, and Paul Dano. All who have had pretty darn good careers after this movie.
Great performance. I love Toni Collette in anything. I wish she were my mom.
She is so good. I love her.
Yeah, she's really good. Honestly, and he's so cringy for so much of the movie, but Greg Kinnear's Richard, he's really good in that
Excellent.
role. Like
he is good. He's hateable, but he's good.
No. And you said you found him detestable, and I totally agree that he is insufferable for basically like 3/4 of the movie. I think he starts to have a little bit of an arc towards the latter half, but he is so good at playing that guy. And actually, Travis, I really had the reflection watching it this time that you have a couple improv characters that are that guy, and like his like physicality and like facial expressions and kind of like delivery of certain lines reminded me of those characters of yours, which I thought was cool.
Great. I don't know how I
And
feel
you
about
should be
that,
very
but,
complimented. We're
thank you.
saying how amazing he is
Thank you.
in that role. So
I'm just like Greg Kinnear. I've told people this for years. I'm basically a Greg Kinnear. I do like, hey, whatever happened to Greg Kinnear? I never see him. Did he die or something? Whatever happened to him?
Yeah,
God, I hope not.
War, I think. Yeah, it's terrible.
I haven't seen him in anything, but yeah.
Tragic.
He was kind of on a run there in the early aughts.
Yeah. Well, you know what's also on a run is that 6 Degrees of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is the section of the
Kev, I got you.
podcast, Haley, where
Nope, we got
Travis connects the previous movie to the current movie that we are doing vis-a-vis connections of actors that have shared the screen in many different films together in order to connect the two films. Now, see, the fun part is we call it 6 Degrees of Texas Chainsaw Massacre because we originally started it in the 6 Degrees of Texas Chainsaw Massacre episode.
Everybody knows.
It was good.
beautiful,
Everybody knows,
Kevin.
Kev.
Thank you so
Everybody
much for
knows.
that explanation.
Thanks. Yeah.
Lovely.
Just making sure.
Well done.
It's really good. Thank you.
So the first one, I have the old dead guy connection. You might appreciate this, Kevin.
All right.
Alan Arkin, who played the pedophilic grandfather.
Okay.
He was in the 7% Solution, a movie I've never seen or heard of, but with the recently late Robert Duvall, who was, of course, in Days of Thunder.
Is Alan Arkin dead?
Yes.
Yeah, he died in 2023.
Well,
yeah.
darn. I didn't know that. Man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
The tragedies continue. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for bringing us down there, Travis. Appreciate that. But you did a great job.
Yeah, anytime. Thank you. Then I got the leading lady connection. Toni Collette, the mother in this movie, was in The Hours, another movie I haven't seen, with Nicole Kidman, who was, of course, Tom Cruise's love interest there in Days of Thunder.
Dr. Love Interest.
Have you seen The Hours?
Yes. Me?
I'm sorry, Dr. Love Interest. You're
yeah, it's
yes.
I've
not seen that either.
I think I own that on DVD somewhere.
Ooh.
But yeah, I watched it a few times after I got it when it came out, and I remember being pretty moved by it. It was a good movie. I literally couldn't tell you anything about it now other than it starred like a strong female cast. That's it. That's all I could tell you about it right now.
Sounds great.
Sounds good.
Good.
I have to
Thanks.
check it out.
Thank you. Well, what do
Thank
you
you,
guys know about it?
I don't know anything.
I knew more than you
Nothing.
did. Bunch of chucklehead. I'm sorry, boss. I'm sorry.
No, I thought it was great. I wasn't being sarcastic. I wasn't even being sarcastic. I think it was great. Thank you for that. Then I have Old White Guy with Money Connection. If only. Old White Guy with Money Connection. You got to have an old white guy with money in a movie, or else it's not interesting, right? So we got Bryan Cranston, who plays Stan Grossman. What a name. Who was in To Race the Wind, yet another movie I have not seen nor heard of, with Randy Quaid, who was the white guy with money in our last movie, Kevin. My God.
Man, wow. That one's really good. That one's clever, Travis. That's a really clever,
Thank you.
like, just title and actor-to-actor connection. Like, that's our character.
Thank you.
Travis,
That's really good.
I'm
Nice
adding
job.
a gold star to your file.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, thanks.
Whoa, there's
I got
gold
one.
stars on the table? Nobody told me this.
Kevin, make better pastries and maybe you'll get one.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Well, Kevin, if you liked the effort I put in on that one, then this next one I think might also be pleasing to you. We got The Cop Connection.
No, it sucks.
Okay, great. One of my favorite parts of Little Miss
Like
Sunshine
your coffee.
is the scene where Dean Norris's cop character pulls them over, horn blaring, dead grandpa on the back, pouring all over the place. Greg Kinnear's awkward. It's great scene. He's the state trooper. He was in The Firm with Gene Hackman, who was in Runaway Jury with Nick Searcy, who was the state trooper in Days of Thunder. I don't specifically remember a state trooper scene in Days of Thunder, but it was in the credits, so I made the connection. There it is.
No, that's where they get pulled over. Like those were supposed to be the state police, right?
I'm just having trouble remembering the scene. Can you give me something that'll... I don't remember precisely.
Yeah, okay, so the crew and Robert Duvall,
Uh-huh.
right? They're in the bus.
Oh, the
going
bus.
from race to
That's
race.
it, the
They've just
bus,
won the
the
race.
bus.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got
when it
you
gets
now.
pulled over, right?
Yeah, of course.
He wasn't the female officer,
Of course not.
obviously. Right. So anyway, there you go.
No, I got you now. All right, yeah.
That was good.
What'd you think of that? Was
That was
that
a
okay,
great
Kev?
connection, though.
You like that? Okay, good.
Yeah, I also this isn't really a 6 Degrees of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but the Breaking Bad connection of having
Right?
Bryan
I
Cranston
know.
and Dean Norris
so
in this
weird.
is pretty
It's cool.
pretty fun.
Yeah, it's like
and it was
those...
shot in and around Albuquerque.
Right.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess, I don't know, when did Breaking Bad kick off? I mean, this was 2006.
It was
Would it
2
have been
years
around
after
the
this, I
2 years
think.
after?
Mhm.
Okay. It's crazy how much
Yeah,
Bryan
it was
Cranston
like
looks
2000
different
or
with
something.
like hair versus not. But
Facial hair, yeah.
He was fun in this movie, though. I mean, a very brief appearance,
Yeah.
but he was definitely fun in it.
I noticed so many, like
Um,
almost everybody that was on screen in this movie was recognizable to some degree. Whether they were then or not, I don't know. But years later, like a lot of little bit players, I was like, I know him from somewhere. I know her from somewhere. So it was full of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was,
definitely.
in fact, full of people.
Full of people.
Well, something else that's full of people, Travis.
Yeah.
Is those preview reviews.
I got a few.
Where you go out into the wilds of the dark web.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You
I do go
use
to the dark web.
you go
yeah.
into incognito mode.
I do. I
on
get
your
a VPN.
Google Chrome browser.
Yeah.
Just
Actually,
so no one.
I go to the
knows
library
that you're going to
downtown so they
find
can't
these.
trace me. And then I look up all of
Good
these
call.
reviews.
Good call, dude. Good call. Let's get to those preview reviews.
All right, we got people who love it. Now, this movie has an overwhelming positive review on Letterboxd, but a lot of the people who love it aren't very vocal about it. So there aren't a ton of like good positive reviews I could pull for this part of the show. But I found a couple.
agree.
There's 5 stars from Gabby. This was back in 2019. She says Steve Carell and Paul Dano were the uncle-nephew duo we all needed but didn't deserve. And I agreed with that, so I put it in here.
Yeah. There you go.
They are great. They are absolutely great.
I know.
Their dynamic is fantastic.
I know.
So,
So good.
Yeah, I agree.
And then we have number 1 Gizmo fan, also with the 5 stars. I can't believe this movie simultaneously caused and cured my depression. I think that's a relatable
Yeah.
take.
That's pretty good.
You know, just to loop back to the previous one. Okay, we obviously are on a podcast with our non-familial uncle. being the primary source of it. Okay, so as Steve Carell as Uncle Doug, which one of us is the Paul Dano character? Is it Travis or is it me?
Oh, I'm being asked this.
That's a good question.
Travis is Paul Dano. Kevin, you're Steve Carell for sure.
So Kevin's
Right,
funny,
okay.
and I'm weird. That makes sense.
You're like serious and moody and aloof.
I
Travis.
feel like Kevin's moody.
I mean, he is.
What's that
Well,
supposed to mean?
Kevin, you're so moody.
Steve Carell's moody in this for sure.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. They're all moody. Well, anyway, I'm glad I took that little detour from our preview reviews. What else you got, Travis?
Yeah, we got 3 stars here. This is people meh. There's always those folk. From Heidi Land, maybe? Back in 2022, they say, this movie triggered my major depression. It is so dark and tried to lighten the heavy topics it covered, but frankly, it was too much for me.
Huh. Okay.
Okay.
All
It
right.
was just too much. But still 3 stars.
That's fair.
It-
That's 3 stars. Yeah.
That's their feelings, and that's okay.
I had to up all my dosages, but 3 stars.
It is a fine line to walk to talk about heavy subject matter, but still sprinkle in comedy and make it a comedy.
Yeah.
I do think
For
that
sure.
is a tightrope
Yeah,
to
this
walk.
movie is-
It's one that's very worthwhile and meaningful to do.
Yeah,
but
it's not for everyone,
it's-
that's for
It's
sure.
right on that line.
Totally
This is-
agree.
yeah.
And I definitely can see where this would be an uncomfortable watch for many people, but just so happens it works for me really well.
Well, it
Anyway,
didn't work for Joshua Bird back in 2022.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
half star. That's not even 1 star. Really
Jeez.
hated this movie,
jeez.
especially. This is actually, I like this. I mean, I didn't like it to give it a half star, but just the attitude here. Really hated this movie, especially that dude who wouldn't talk all the way through it. Grow up, Mike. Grow up. What are you doing? Not talking.
Why did he get Australian all of a sudden? Where did that go? I guess because he got a mate.
Grow up, Mike.
Wow. Yeah.
I just like that was his problem. Was that one dude
Yeah.
didn't talk, and he was like, "Oh,
He's literally a teenager.
yeah, grow up, Mike." Come on.
Do you think Paul Dano was like, sweet, I don't have that many lines to learn. This is great.
Oh, I love the way he anytime he has to say something, the way he bangs a pen off a table
Yeah.
to get started.
Yeah.
I love
And the
that.
way he emotes and
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But that's
I
all I
love
got,
it.
Kev.
Well,
We got some more for
Fantastic.
the post credits, but right now that's all I got.
man, what do you think? You guys ready to jump in and start covering this plot?
Well, we might as well.
Is that okay, boss?
Ooh.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well,
You like
very,
that?
very exciting. Yeah,
I'm
I
trying
know.
to put some spice. You know, you guys aren't
Yeah,
spicy enough.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Kevin, come on, you piece of brother. Come on, put some pepper on it.
Ooh, I'm spice. Ow, it hurts. It's too
All right,
spicy.
Kevin, that's a demerit in your file right there.
Okay. Well, whoa! I didn't. They're demerits and gold stars.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And
it's fine.
you
It's
can
fine. I'm
both
just learning the ropes.
Get each of them.
Okay.
What did I do?
All right, that's fine. It's fine. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Well, the movie starts off. You get a little monotonic music, and a close up of Olive with her, her large glasses, and she's watching TV, a beauty pageant on, and she's kind of taking in this beauty pageant, and she, as the scene plays out, she kind of reenacts some of the things that are happening on the screen. And she doesn't look like the typical pageant girl. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah.
We're left to wonder, why does this young person who doesn't look like a typical pageant person, so interested in the world of pageants? So that kind of brings us in with a little hook. And I love, this is so well shot. Like she's like doing the hand gestures in front of their big screen TV and stuff. Really like it a lot. Then you kind of move right along, and we're going to meet Greg Kinnear's Richard. Now, guys, there's a abbreviation, or not abbreviation, a shortening of Richard, and I don't think that's coincidental in this selection of his name. You know what I mean?
Good one,
Dick.
Kevin.
I'm
You
trying to
saying
say
he might be
Dick.
a bit
Yeah,
of a
Dick,
Richie?
Yeah, Richie.
Oh, a dick.
Yeah, that's what I was going with. I don't think that's coincidental. But Greg Kinnear's Richard is a not so successful self-improvement speaker, right? We kind of see him, and honestly,
And you can see why.
well, no, I thought he was great. Like, I thought his speech was perfectly fine. I guarantee whatever system he's cooked up is as good, if not better, than all of those stupid self-help books that you're going to see in Barnes and Noble.
The 9 steps.
Because they're all...
I love that it's 9
exactly.
steps. Not 10.
Yeah, you think he's like... I think he's saving like 10 and up for the second volume. You know, you got to get those resales, right? But we see him delivering an impassioned speech to like 6 people in a college classroom somewhere. So we get the feeling that he's got aspirations to be much larger than he is. We're going to move back and we're going to meet Paul Dano's character, Dwayne. And he's working out, man. He's training. He's bench pressing or floor pressing an easy curl bar, knocking out some push-ups, some pull-ups, obviously kind of training for something. We don't know exactly what yet. Then we're going to meet Grandpa. We're getting to meet all these characters through these little vignettes through the opening. We're going to meet Grandpa Edwin. He's snorting some heroin. He's just enjoying a little heroin in the bathroom like you do, you know?
As you do.
I guess at this
As one
point we
does.
don't know that it's heroin unless
Yeah.
there's
I think
something,
you'd
you know,
assume that's cocaine until
he
it's
kind of just
clarified.
relaxes on the toilet. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause that's
One thing that cocaine makes me do, it's take a nap in the bathroom.
it does. Then we're going to meet Toni Collette's character.
Cheryl.
She is definitely not smoking. Cheryl is definitely not smoking as she talks to Richard on the phone, and she's driving to get her suicidal brother, Steve Carell's Frank, who has just had a recent suicide attempt in the hospital. And we get a shot of him in... like, I guess it's not an observation room. It looks like they just wheeled him into a broom closet with a window for some reason.
Yeah, it's us.
They don't even shut the door. He could do whatever he
And
wants.
so you kind of get this look into Steve Carell's eyes, and he's so funny just as a person. Like, one of the best comedic actors of our
Oh,
time.
brilliant.
And he just has this well of sorrow within him. And I don't know if you guys know people like that, but like they're just so funny, but you just can see the sadness cooking in their eyes.
Yeah.
And you see this on his face. He's really in a bad place. And then the title card goes, Little Miss Sunshine.
Yep.
Now, Haley, we have began rating title cards in the movies that we watch.
Oh.
0 being the absolute worst, or just doesn't have one, frankly. 1 is probably
Yeah,
the
an
worst.
absence of.
0
Yeah.
to a 6. A 6 being the absolute best a title card can be. Okay, now I'm going to go first in rating this one because I've had time to think about it. I'm actually, even though it's very plain font, I'm going to give this a really high 5, almost a 6, because the timing of it and the fact that, like, Steve Carell just looks absolutely devastated, and it's slightly ironic that it's Little Miss Sunshine when he's in the throes of this horrible depression. I like all of that. So I'm giving that a high 5. What about you, Travis?
I was going to go with a 4. I thought I would be the one giving it a high mark just because, you know, like you said, it's a bit simplistic, but I think that makes it good.
Yeah. What about you, Haley?
And I like the cascading of the sizes of the words. I think that's, I don't know, there's something about that I found clever.
Kevin, I think I'm right on par. On par? I think I'm right with you on your rating. Like, I think a 6, for it to be a 6, I feel like maybe there would be, I don't know, is it a 6? Oh, no, I'm gonna stick with high 5. Also, for all the reasons you said, it's a really good one, and I love it.
I can't remember what the best rating we gave out. I think it might have been for Weird Science. Because
Dude, they crushed that shit.
It's so good. It's such a good title card. So we get that, and we get a little scene between brother and sister, where she hugs him and says, "I'm so glad you're still here." And he said, "Well, that makes one of us."
So good.
Ah.
Yeah, it's a perfect line. It's great.
So she's going to take him home because he can't be left alone. I love how the doctor just says all of this very loud right in front of Steve Carell's. He's like, the door's wide open. He's like, don't leave him alone with sharp objects or, any pills. If you got a mean dog, don't let that around him, whatever.
Yeah.
So they kind of have... sorry. Just want to run back to the intro of all those characters. When you're first introduced to all of those characters, which one do you like the most?
Olive.
Travis?
I mean, probably Olive.
Yeah?
But yeah.
Cheryl too, though. I think Cheryl. I mean, I love that scene with her talking on the phone, smoking the cigarette, and like, I'm not smoking. I'm not. I just like, I love that scene. So I don't know. I think there's something in her introduction that always captivates me, but obviously, I don't know. Olive's just so sweet.
I mean, Olive is, that she's going to be the center of the film, which I think is why you're like, her introduction seemed the most, like, I don't know. They all seemed very real and believable, but hers was so real and believable it was almost boring in a way where you're like, well, how could this be the central part of the movie when everyone else has all of these bigger things happening to them? And then Dwayne, I think, makes me ask the most questions.
I think Dwayne was my favorite.
What's he working toward?
I think Dwayne, because I was like, I just gloomy reading Nietzsche, working out in his room. I'm like, I get this guy.
Yeah.
I get him.
And we don't even know his vow yet.
Yeah.
We don't even know that part.
You don't.
Well, there is an awkward car ride home. Once Frank and Cheryl arrive home, we find out that Frank is going to be rooming with Dwayne. Dwayne honestly doesn't seem all that excited about it. I'll be perfectly honest. But what would you...
But does he seem excited about anything ever? What would that even look like from Dwayne?
I think
when he gets out his notepad and draws a smiley face?
I mean, we get to see that later. We get to see some excitement from him. A little, he's coming out of that apathetic...
It's always subdued, though.
Stage. So, again, they can't leave Frank alone, so that's why he has to room with Dwayne, which seems like a awful lot of pressure to put on a teen boy, but, we find out that he wants to be a
one
Air
who
Force
doesn't
pilot.
speak?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's he going to do if there's danger? Like, is he going to just write it vigorously and slide it under his parents' door?
Yeah.
He can't call 911.
Hey,
what
he
are they
has to
do?
call now. Exactly. How does he call 911?
They clearly haven't thought this through. Well, Olive and Gramps are downstairs rehearsing. That's what's happening with them. And then Richard kind of gets home, and he's trying to reach someone named Stan Grossman, about his book deal. And we're kind of just getting all these little... I love the way this is written and directed, and like that you're getting all of this exposition, but it doesn't feel like heavily narrated to you. It's really cleverly done.
Oh, so good.
And
yeah, I agree. I also like the set. It feels very real for a lived-in home for a dysfunctional family.
It does. I love it.
Even for a functional family, it just seems it's very homely.
Yeah. Well, they've got fried chicken for dinner. They got a bucket of. It's not the Colonel, but let's just face it, it's probably Colonel adjacent, right?
The chicken.
So they're kind of setting. They're setting up for dinner. And we find out as everybody's kind of gathering around the table that Dwayne doesn't speak. He's taken a vow of silence because of Nietzsche, and he hates everyone. Nietzsche. Travis, you know how to say Genghis and Jangus. Which one is it? Is it Nietzsche or Nietzsche?
I think it's however you want to say it, Kev.
Thanks, big dog.
I do really love.
I think that's what he would have said.
Steve Carell says, like, it gets stuck in my head. Do phrases ever get stuck in your head? But, the way he's like, Friedrich Nietzsche, like the way he says it in that scene, like, gets stuck in my head. So
he says it the way I would expect a literary scholar to say it.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, the world's leading Proust scholar.
Yeah.
Well,
let's not.
Yeah, number one. He was number one. Some things happen.
Yeah, that's true.
But we'll get there. So Dwayne is not speaking because he's taken a vow of silence until he achieves his goal of becoming an Air Force pilot. So Olive and Grandpa come up, and Olive asks Uncle Frank about his arms. He had we never actually see the wounds, but I'm assuming he slit his wrists in order to end his life. And so Olive asks about that, and Edwin, Grandpa Edwin hates the chicken. He just is not a fan of the chicken. Which seems a little ungrateful.
Yeah. Which
is that iconic? Hating chicken?
No, just the delivery of his Jesus God Almighty. Every night it's the chicken.
I don't know. I felt like your performance there was also iconic.
Oh, thanks.
So nice.
Thank you.
And we find out that Gramps got kicked out of Sunset Manor. Presumably, that's the retirement community that he was in. We're not entirely sure why, but we've got probably an idea that has to do with his wild lifestyle. All the heroin in the bathroom and whatnot.
Sexual harassment, yeah.
Well, Richard kind of starts in with his 9 steps. He's just like a broken record with this thing, and there's a little bit of an exchange between. I'm not going to do a whole blow by blow of the family dinner here, but just trying to hit the high notes so we're getting the character dynamics established. And we start to see
it's a very thick introduction, like
yeah,
a very
this scene is so
wrought with.
Yeah, rot.
Yeah.
Sorry, Travis.
I wonder how many people didn't survive this scene trying to watch this movie. This is the
it's
the,
tough.
For lack of a more acceptable term, man maker of the movie. If you can make it through this, you might be able to survive the whole film. But a lot of people probably cringed out right here, I think.
Why do you say that?
I would say a lot of the week died out right here.
Why? Because of the conversation
Just
around
because of how potentially,
suicide?
yeah. It's just like thick awkwardness. I think a lot of people have issues with that.
I mean, I guess.
I thought it was
yeah,
great,
I guess
personally.
that's true. I guess maybe for me, like that's something I think I'm really drawn to in films because it feels so real. Like life is really like awkward and uncomfortable a lot. I guess, and I think like I just really love how this scene is orchestrated and like like Olive's curiosity about Frank's bandages and like the disagreement between Cheryl and Richard and like the just different little things that are flying around the table. It's just, and like Olive's just like really genuine, wholesome responses to it. And like, and then, and like also like, it is this very heavy, dark subject, but it's also funny in the way like certain moments are played and the way Frank's like telling the story and Olive's like, oh, so that's when you did it. And he was like, well, no, that was all fine. But then this other thing happened. And yeah, anyway, this scene is just a masterpiece to me.
Yeah, it feels very naturalistic. I like it. And it does bring that like that awkward family energy. It's kind of like when we all get together with our improv group and have a weird family dinner. It happens. But yeah, they disagree on whether Olive should know about Frank's suicide attempt, and Cheryl wins that one because Frank kind of he listens to his sister and not Richard because I think he thinks Richard's a tool because he is, at least at this point in the movie. It is funny. Because you always wonder when the husband is so cringy and unbearable, it's like, what did the wife ever see in this person that made her go, yeah, I want to hitch my horse to this person's wagon? And you don't see it out of Greg Kinnear's character until the end where you go like, oh, there is a good dude in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like he probably isn't. He's probably built up this persona and this ego trying to sell this stupid book. He actually is probably a decent enough guy. Or maybe she was just desperate. Who knows? Love is funny. But
I think he's just handsome.
Yeah, I mean, he's not bad. Not bad. Well, Frank, speaking of handsome, had fallen in love with one of his, or a grad student at the university he worked at, who didn't love him back, who ended up falling in love with another man. And there's a little light homophobia here, that especially from Grandpa, which is not entirely unexpected.
Yeah, I mean, he's an old guy. And
That
but
doesn't excuse it.
no, I'm not saying it's that's an excuse. I'm saying, who hasn't had like encountered old people that have old-fashioned ways of seeing the world?
Well, I
that's all
frankly am just impressed that it was only light homophobia. Frankly,
Well, and
I
like
expected
also
it to
he
be
like
way worse.
there are other scenes like later in the movie where it's just like clear he doesn't actually give it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know, there's
It's
language and stereotype
Yeah.
ingrained in his life that causes him to see things a certain way. So
Well, so we're getting this family dynamic, and then there's a message on the answering machine about Little Miss Sunshine, finding out that Olive is going to go to the state competition for Little Miss Sunshine. I assume that's, Little Miss California, whatever in this world. And at this point, she goes to like 11, and it's the best thing I've ever seen in my life. This is such a great scene because she's like really excited and she's like running around, and they're like, oh crap, like how are we going to get her there? And this whole argument ensues with the family, and it feels very natural and it's very well written, and it all plays out that every single one of them has to go in order for her to actually be able to make it to this Little Miss Sunshine competition.
yeah.
Which
Yeah, I like this scene a lot because I've seen my daughter react like that to a number of things, and so it was very.
and
Like,
she's like oblivious to the argument that's
wholesome.
happening. She's already like run to go
Oh, yeah.
pack. Like she's just like back and forth. And my favorite is is that Cheryl finally to get Dwayne to go. She's like, I'll sign off on you going to flight school if you go. He's like, done. I'm in.
But he's not going to
Yeah,
have
so-
any fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He refuses to have
And he almost
any
doesn't.
fun. And I love
it was a close call.
Love the way this comes together. I think he is. I think they all have fun getting that van started. At least.
Oh yeah, by the end for sure. But it was close call for Dwayne. I was like, this guy's not going to have any fun in this.
He's not even gonna get
It's
to have a little bit.
We're winding down. We got 2 minutes left.
And of course, Richard's got to put on his schmarmy, like you're going to be a winner, right? You got to get that in there. Well, later that night in Dwayne's room, Dwayne writes on his notebook, which is his, as you guys have alluded to, his main way of communicating with everybody since he's taken a vow of silence. He writes to Frank, "Hey, don't kill yourself tonight."
Love that.
Which
shit.
suggests
Frank's
he's
like, "All right."
perfectly capable of handling the situation he's been put in. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think so. Anything else to say about that whole dinner scene? I mean, it's a lot to unpack, but it's really great at establishing the framework of the movie and the characters that we're going to care about as the film goes on.
I mean,
I
yeah,
think
I
it's
could
great.
go on forever about basically every detail, so I won't do that. But I love it.
So the next day, they're on the road in the van. This is another thing I don't know how to say. Sufjan Stevens.
I believe it's Sufjan.
Sufjan Stevens. Chicago. I love that album. That
Yeah.
This is from Illinois. And everyone's kind of lost in their own thought, riding in this canary yellow VW van, and Grandpa is kind of gets into this conversation with Dwayne that Travis was alluding to about, telling him to bang lots of pretty young girls while he's young and can do it. Now, Travis, you really had a bone with this one. So this is your time. This is your time to shine.
I mean, he's a repulsive character, and I wouldn't let my daughter hang out with him. But there are guys like this. I just, I wouldn't want to be around him.
100%. There were older members of my family that were like giving me this same advice. He's like, yeah, man, you gotta date all the pretty girls while you're young. When you get old like me, ugh. You're like, well, all right. It is an awkward, but there is one thing I like about Grandpa's approach. He is not hiding it. He is saying it for the whole van and anyone that wants to hear it. So I do appreciate.
I wish he'd hide it.
You wish he'd hide it a little bit more. Like he'd like.
I wish he took a vow of silence. I wish he was writing it on the notebook. Yeah.
I don't know, Haley. What do you think? What do you think about Grandpa's advice?
Yeah, I mean, I understand your discomfort, Travis. I mean, speaking as a woman, right? I also find perverted old men disgusting. But I think there's something about... I find this scene funny. It makes me laugh because Dwayne's response is like, he's just like, oh, Jesus. You know, like he's just so not into it, for one thing. And then also, I think a key component here is that, you know, Greg Kinnear's character is like, oh, Dad, come on, Olive, or whatever. And he's like, she can't hear anything. And anyway, at one point, Olive takes off her headphones and she's like, what are you guys talking about? And he's like, politics, you know? And so he's like, he doesn't want her to be privy to this conversation. He's just kind of messing around and like, I think with Dwayne a little bit, and kind of everybody else, because they're all there.
Everybody else. And we do find out why he did in fact get kicked out of Sunset Manor, and it was his rampant drug use and probably just poor attitude. He did talk about how he was the number one citizen there as concerning the eligible bachelorettes there at the Sunset Manor. He was quite the playboy, apparently, at least in his mind. So we find out about all of that during this particular, and we start to kind of establish a little bit of a dynamic between Grandpa and Frank. Like they almost kind of bond a little bit because Grandpa sort of realizes maybe Frank's actually got a little bit of a sense of humor.
Yes.
So all that light homophobia is thrown out. Well, he does call him, like, I think he literally calls him gay man or something in this scene. But like even as a gay man, you can appreciate this. Or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Well, they this was the litmus test for me. This next scene where they go to eat at the diner, and
this was rough.
Greg Kinnear's character. So they all order a meal that is sort of they have a budget, right? Because they're not a rich family, and they all order things that are kind of congruent with their character to a certain extent. And little Olive orders waffles with ice cream, which sounds freaking awesome, frankly. Sounds really good.
Yeah.
There's a joke about a la modi, and everybody's having fun. And then Richard starts like fat shaming his 7-year-old daughter in like the most like passive aggressive way about like, well, those pageant models, they're skinny, aren't they?
Yeah.
This was
hard.
Physically hard for me not to get up and leave.
It's very hard to watch.
My wife got upset. I was like, I think it gets better. Sit back down. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it is
did,
tough.
thankfully.
It's tough. It's tough to watch. I mean, and I was a chubby child, a little girl who had weight issues, and so like these things are very impactful to me, like these moments, and like around Olive's body image. And the scene is so good, though. It is one of my favorites. And like there's this shot of Grandpa, Frank, and Dwayne just like looking, just like shooting daggers at Richard for what he's doing. And like everyone feeling just like this kind of like sense of just disgust over what he's doing, but like not really knowing how to respond in the moment, until, of course, as I'm sure you're getting to, Kevin, when the ice cream actually gets there.
Yeah. I did in my notes. I underlined Richard is absolutely unbearable 3 times. That's
completely.
How,
I don't know that he ever redeems himself for me personally by the end of this movie. He gets a little better.
He
but...
definitely
Oh,
does.
no.
He 100% redeems himself.
I mean, for me personally, I mean, I had a hard time ever looking at him through any lens other than what a piece of shit after this.
You've written so many letters to Greg Kinnear himself, like the actor. You were that upset.
I have. I'm like, how dare you? You were in Stuck on Me. That was a great movie. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're bringing yourself down.
Well, when the ice cream comes to the table, Olive is not wanting to eat the ice cream. And so the boys, Grandpa, Frank, and Dwayne kind of like, and Tony Collette, Cheryl start like eating a little bit of the ice cream. And she's like, no, hold on. I want my ice cream. So she does end up getting her ice cream and feeling supported by her family, which I think is
well, and like
what she needed.
Rich tries to be like Olive, and they're all like, basically, like,
basically, shut up.
She's just like, Rich. And and it's all these like little subtle facial expressions too. Like, I don't know. It's just good. Anyway,
and
sorry.
She enjoys that bite of ice cream. Like I've never enjoyed anything in my life.
So good. Yeah.
Except
I love that
being
moment.
with you fine folks.
Aw, that's a gold star, Kevin.
You guys. Yes.
Good job, Kev.
Woo!
I like how Grandpa also jumped in for support too. It almost made me forget he was a pedophile for like a second. I was like, nice.
Travis,
the whole family's coming together to rally around her
it's
feelings.
It's genuinely hurting my heart, Travis, that you keep calling him a pedophile. Like, that is just, to me, like, could not be further from his whole thing.
Yeah, it seems like mostly he liked senior citizen women in the nursing home. It seemed like that was his. That's what I mean. In current contemporary movie cinema fact. I mean, he says it, so it's got to be true. Well, there is a driving disaster. Cheryl doesn't know how to drive a manual well, and so she tries to drive the van, making very kind offer because it's a lot of driving, but it basically burns the clutch out. So now they have a bad clutch. Which means you can't shift gears, and it makes the vehicle very hard to start. Now, the mechanic gives them very bad mechanic advice. He's like, you don't really need a clutch to go from third to fourth, which is technically correct. Not good for the long-term life of the van, but maybe they don't care at this point. So,
hey, if you're trying to get to California in like soon, good advice. Let's,
maybe nurse the van to the next rental. Maybe they can't afford a rental. Doesn't matter. It's movie bottles. So they all have to do a push start. And this is like, I love the push starts for the van because I had I've had a couple of cars that I had to push start in the past, and it is a super fun experience. You kind of get them going towards the hill, and then you got to run and jump in. So good.
And when this happens, every time they're in the van after that, whenever they park, in my mind, I'm have to park where they can roll start. And there's another part in the movie where they stop to get gas and you never see them pick up and go again, and I'm like, I wish I would have seen another roll start. I think we needed another one in the movie.
I just need the one more. I love Steve Carell has this throwaway line that he does where he's like, I just want to reiterate that I'm the #1 Marcel Proust scholar in the country. While they're like pushed.
Also, I love his run in this movie.
Oh yes,
he has a very distinct manner of running.
It's such a perfect character embodiment, it just fits him perfectly. That run, so good.
And it is hard to do a push start in a van and not have a good time. So they're all kind of smiling and breathing heavy by the time they get the van back on the road. Now down the road, Richard is selling this Stan Grossman story. I guess he's telling it to Frank at the time. He's this big publisher and he's in Scottsdale selling the book or whatever. And there starts to be a little friction between Richard and Frank, which frankly, very frankly, because his name's Frank, is long overdue. Long overdue.
Indeed.
Yeah, I love that. I love the back sass.
And there's a little bit of there's a line about sarcasm in here where he's like, that's sarcasm is just the refuge of the loser. And then Frank just leans into the sarcasm. It's great. It's so good. Well, as he's driving, Stan Grossman, in fact, calls, but the cell phone cuts out. So they have to stop the van, and Richard calls on a payphone. Those are still a thing in 2006. And he's talking to Stan Grossman, and we start to get the sense that maybe things didn't go so well with selling his book and getting this book deal. But we're going to learn a lot about, and we're going to get a lot of little texture here with the different characters at the gas station. So at the gas station, Grandma tells Frank to go in and buy him some nudie magazines, pornographic reading
He uses
material.
a term that's not great.
What is it?
But the setup here is wonderful.
And he also tells him to buy himself like a gay pornographic magazine.
Yeah.
He does.
And so at least he's being considerate of Frank and you know, in that way too. So he sends Frank in with some money to get these pornographic magazines. While Frank's in the store, there's a attractive, you know, younger guy behind him who turns around and recognizes him. Turns out that of all the happenstance in all the world, that the grad student that he was in love with is in this gas station while he's buying these pornographic magazines and a blue slushie.
I have a couple questions here.
Sure.
First of all, do we all remember popped collars? That went away, right?
Yeah,
We're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
That was kind of a fun throwback. Two, have you ever been to a place where the porno mags are just right behind the counter, so visible?
I actually was going to ask you guys that because I've never seen that, but maybe you guys would know.
That's insane to me. I don't know why. I don't know. California is maybe a different kind of place. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
very, very free and open
something.
there. They're free in a way that we're not.
Yeah, it kind of is. But this seems
It's
hilarious.
so good.
And it turns out that this person that he was in love with is with the number 2 Marcel Proust scholar, like in a convertible, driving across the country, just having the time of their life. And then,
remember when you could get 5 pornos and a slushie for under $20?
You couldn't do that, but no, not today, not with this, not in this economy. That is
All these tariffs.
The inflation has been terrible on the magazine industry. It's hard to even. It's just hard. So as he is like talking to this grad student, he's like leaning sideways so that he can't see the pornographic magazines on the counter, which he of course does end up seeing. And then there's and you never. I don't think you ever hear a line of dialogue from the man that took his man away. But he looks back over his shoulder with this like grin at the gas station, hearing about, you know, the trounced Frank in this desperate situation that just makes me want to punch him in the face. You don't do that to my Uncle Frank.
Yeah. This is such a good
And
scene.
whatever, that dude wasn't even that cute anyway.
No, he really wasn't.
No.
He's sort of weird looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, Travis, you can put your collar down now.
Yeah.
If it-
Yeah,
Oh,
Travis.
thanks. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe. Okay, cool.
Well,
Kev, you can leave yours up, I guess.
I'm leaving mine up. It looks good. Really ties my chin together. So that's kind of playing out. And outside, Frank kind of comes back out. He's in a sort of an angry state. He throws the magazines to Gramps, and Tony, Colette's Cheryl, and Richard are kind of like talking about how this phone call didn't go well, and you can feel like the tension bubbling under the surface. And they get in the van, and they get the thing started, and they're heading down the road. They've kind of argued a little bit. Morale is very low, and no one remembers that Olive got out to go to the bathroom. And that
She went to practice her.
Yeah,
no, is
yeah,
this where
yeah,
she
yeah,
practices her
yeah.
routine? Yeah.
And so they like left her at the gas station until Dwayne's like, "Where's Olive?" Writes it on his notebook.
Dwayne, and also this is Dwayne not being like, "Oh my God, we left Olive,"
Yeah.
pulling out the pen, writing it, passing the note to Frank. Poor little Olive just hanging out. She looks like, I had the same outfit a lot of the time when I was her age, so I was like, I would have been left at that gas station.
This does remind me of times like, your parents got too drunk to come pick you up from soccer practice, and you just had to walk home. You know what I mean?
That happened to me 3 times.
Oh.
Well, anyway,
And I didn't even play soccer.
yeah, we didn't want to. Yeah.
It was football practice,
Yeah,
but still.
they call that soccer in some countries, right?
They do.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, anyway, they do basically a rolling pickup of Olive. She has to leap in the van as it's kind of rolling by.
So good.
So we as a family, as a unit, have learned that Richard has, the deal fell apart, and Gramps, Richard's dad comes up and he tells him, like, hey, you took a big chance and not everybody does that, and I'm really proud of you. And I rewound and played this scene about 5 or 6 times, just pretending it was my dad telling me he was proud of me. And then when I stopped doing it, I was like, all right, this is really good. Both, and it is a little bit where you start to like understand maybe Richard a little bit in the way he is, that his dad finally giving him this approval really meant a lot, but he couldn't show it. I don't know. I really like that little moment between the two.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that moment is really pivotal. Like, it just like gives you like a little glimpse into who Richard is, maybe underneath this like huge ego thing he's had going on.
Did that bring you back on Gramps a little bit too, Travis? You're like, maybe Gramps ain't so bad.
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. No, not really.
Okay. Well, I've generally realized when an older person has a heartwarming moment in a movie, that usually means they're not long for this movie.
They're going to, yeah, right?
Usually,
I felt that. In this moment, I was like,
yes, you know it's coming. So
I mean, even though I've already seen it, I'd forgotten every beat of this movie, so everything was still a bit of a surprise. So, but yeah, I was like, uh-oh.
So they get to the hotel. They pair off into rooms, two people per room. So we have the parents' room. Then you're gonna have uncle nephew room, and then you're gonna have grandpa granddaughter room, because they're gonna practice their routine a little bit more. So as soon as Richard and Cheryl get into the room, it's basically it's time to fight, because we've over leveraged everything for this book deal. The Grossman thing's falling apart, so we kind of start hearing them arguing, and these, we've all been to a motel, you know what I mean, and so you can hear the argument.
Yeah. I wouldn't tell you though.
Well, no, that's why I wasn't even going to ask if you'd been there. I was just going to assume. But hey, you just told me, Travis. So
sorry.
The walls are paper thin. So in the room adjacent, Dwayne can hear his parents arguing about the situation. Turns on the TV, and Dwayne turns the TV back off so he can listen to his parents argue, because he's really enjoying their misery. I love it. I love it. Dwayne, I like your energy. We cut over to grandpa granddaughter room. They're practicing growling, and this is all we know about her dance routine. At some point, she's going to growl. And
I don't even think we know that's part of the routine. That could just be part of the nighttime ritual.
Yeah, maybe they just practice growling every night before bed. I'm going to start doing that.
You never know.
I feel like I'll wake up like a tiger. You know what I mean?
There you go. Yeah. You sleep like a kitty cat.
Yeah, maybe if I growl like a tiger before bed, my sleep will be great.
Oh, wow.
That's a good
okay,
job.
That's a demerit.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Oh, God. I thought
it was good.
That's a demerit.
Right.
That's a demerit for
Kev,
you, Travis, for thinking it was good.
Hey, Kev, pretend I'm your dad for a second.
Yeah?
I'm proud of you. That was good.
Jesus Christ. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me, Dad.
That was really good. You tried, and that's what matters.
Man. Wow. That means a lot, man.
Okay.
You're not a loser.
Demerits are removed.
Thanks.
That was sweet.
Thanks. Oh, hey. All right. Travis, we just have to pretend to like each other. This is working out great. So back in the Grandpa Olive room, Olive asks Grandpa, basically she's like, gets really worked up. She's like, I don't want to be a loser because Daddy hates losers. And Gramps lays it on for her. He's like, listen, the real loser is the person who never tries. Who's so afraid that they won't be able to do it that they never even give it a shot. Those are the real losers. And I would say, Grandpa, you're wrong. They're just neutral. You actually have to try something to be a loser. You know what I mean?
No, I'm totally 100% with Grandpa on this one, actually. I love that. I love that scene.
She would be.
Also,
oh, no, I like it.
But like, are you just being like tongue in cheek here, Kevin? Are you like doing your little thing where you're like, you gotta actually do something and lose at it to be a loser. Is that where you're? Is this semantics?
Is that what I sound like?
Are you? Yeah, that's how. That's what you sound like.
I don't like the way I sound. Yes, my tongue was firmly in my cheek, and I was just doing the semantics.
Okay.
Of
Got
the
it.
thing for fun and amusement.
Oh, I
but
see.
I'm so sorry.
I took it literally. My bad.
So no, Grandpa is wonderful. He is not a pedophile.
Travis, that scene. How do you not see that Grandpa's relationship to Olive is totally wholesome and pure in that scene? Like, what?
He said it's not about your personality, your brains. I'm madly in love with you because you're hot.
That is not how that goes. That is not the line. And
he does say madly in love with you.
Well, yeah, but because she's amazing. Like, you can say that without it being perverse.
I will say the way he says it doesn't come off creepy.
Yeah. And
I was creeped out.
I think it's all right, whatever. Travis is gonna think what he's gonna think. I'm over it.
I know he just never sees the logic of things.
It's so true.
Jeez.
Well, logic. So wrapped in my emotions.
Anyway, back in the argument room, Richard says, "No, you know what? I'm gonna go fix this." So he goes out. He tries to get the van started. It doesn't start, and then he either borrows or rents a scooter from some street toughs. So he rides his motorbike all the way to this conference to try to find Stan Grossman. He's calling his room. He keeps calling his cell phone, and then he hears a cell phone ringing in the lobby, and that's how he finally tracks him down. And I believe Stan Grossman's trying to put the moves on a pretty young lady, and so he takes time out of his evening to talk to Richard and kind of, I mean, to Stan Grossman's credit, he does try to calm him down and let him down fairly easy, more so than
I think he's very direct and candid. Like he can be a slime ball, but he can still make a good point here.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
and bonus points to Richard for really trying to make this thing work. Like he's going quite a few extra miles on a moped to make it.
Yeah.
So one thing that we did, and it doesn't go well. He doesn't get a book deal or whatever, but he does give it the try, and then he has to do the scooter of shame all the way back to the hotel. One detail that we did miss, which is fairly important, is after Gramps tucks Olive into bed, he decides to snort some H in the bathroom, as is his hobby.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So the next morning, we've got a black screen. We hear Mom, Dad, and they kind of wake up, and Olive's there. She's like, I can't get Grandpa to wake up. And we all know, bro. Like, we all know. Like, that's this.
Now, I know this is a heavy moment, but my first question was, did she get in their room?
I did wonder that myself.
That's a great question. Is it like one of those family rooms where the door opens between them? Maybe
At a no-tell motel? Do they do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't have to explain it. I kind of like that she greeted them this way, but I couldn't help but think, did she crawl through the vents?
Maybe they were so distraught they left their door unlocked.
They just didn't lock the door. Yeah.
There you go.
I would never do that at a no-tell
Nor
motel,
would I.
I feel so bad that little Olive had to find him, though. That broke my heart.
Yeah. Well, they follow the ambulance containing Gramps to the hospital, and we get a little scene in the waiting room where Olive is wanting to give people an eye test, which is pretty
foreshadowing.
Dude,
it is. A little bit.
This is exactly what my kid would be doing. 100%. She would find something like, "Can we just play with something?" Like, Grandpa's dead. She's like, "Yeah, I heard about that, but can we do an eye test?"
So, Cheryl kind of is trying. She more or less figures this is probably it for Gramps. So she's trying to kind of mentally prepare the family, and she kind of breaks down, and Dwayne writes on his notepad to tell Olive to go hug Mom, which I thought was really sweet.
That was one of my favorite
really
parts
good.
of the movie. Because no matter what he says later, deep down, He doesn't
Yeah.
hate everybody.
No,
Absolutely.
no, Dwayne's.
And that's kind of the first. I don't know, maybe there was something earlier, but that was kind of the first time where you kind of see like, he's a little bit deeper than he's
Indeed.
portraying himself.
And then also, like, he can't just hug his mom because he knows he's the cool teenager.
Yeah, yeah.
He refuses.
Yeah.
He hates everybody. I love all of those choices.
Mm.
Well, sure enough, he doesn't make it. And the doctor comes out. And this is probably the biggest laugh
Yes, yes.
I have in the movie. The doctor comes out. He gives them this very serious. We did everything we could, and then he leans around the corner to get the grief counselor. And he's like, "Landa,
Yes.
get in here!"
Yes, the scene's so
Chortled
good.
so hard.
I'm really happy that you called that scene into light because that moment is so
I
good.
love it.
Yeah, that got a belly laugh out of me.
And here's the
Linda!
thing.
Like whoever's idea it was to add that little texture, genius.
And here's the thing. Once you meet Linda, you realize why he doesn't
Yeah,
like
you
Linda.
get it.
She is so
Yeah.
mean
Yeah.
for a grief counselor.
Yeah.
Dude.
Like, she's like, here's this paperwork you need to fill out. And and like gets in an argument with a grieving, family member.
Sir, you are not the only
And
person that
so-
had somebody die here today.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like-
I'll say it. I think Linda was worse than Grandpa. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I wish she were dead. I wish Grandpa was still here. I'll say that. I hope that makes you happy.
That's progress. We've all had a character arc here.
Wow.
Grandpa's was to die. Yours was to hate Grandpa a little less. So that's really nice.
She was rough.
Yeah, so anyway, we don't like Linda, but and basically we kind of find out that they're stuck here because Grandpa has died. They can't transport his body. They can't leave his body legally. So they go back to view the remains, and say what you will about Richard and his like never say die, self-improvement, whatever speeches. He gets the family so rallied up for little Olive so they can make it because it's what Grandpa would have wanted, that they smuggle Grandpa's dead body
Yes.
out the window of this hospital into the van. And it's fantastic because they like send uncle nephew combo out. I think Olive is like watching to make sure nobody's coming, and then Richard and Cheryl like dump Gramps out the window, and they're trying to be fairly. I love everything about this scene. What did you guys think of this scene?
For a road trip movie, you gotta have somebody die.
Mhm.
You gotta have, and it's so good to watch them lug around the dead weight and be all sly about it and realize that like, I'm thinking the whole time like, is what they're doing? Are they stealing Grandpa? Like, what are the
like,
ramifications of taking your
doesn't
own
he
dead
belong
grandpa
to
with
them?
you?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I wondered that myself.
I think the
I suppose you could like
application of law in this
mistreat a
movie-
corpse or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I think the application of law in this movie is a little loosey goosey. So we'll
little bit.
go with it. It's fine. You get bad advice about your clutch.
But as soon as I realized this was about to happen, though, I was so super stoked.
Yeah. I love that as they're like slipping. I just love all the like clumsiness as they're trying to get him out the window and he's sort of like slipping and they're like, oh,
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So good.
I kind of had wanted to, because at first when Richard goes in there and he lifts up the sheet to identify the body, I was kind of hoping that he was like, wait, this isn't Grandpa.
And Grandpa's like bagging some
kinda hoping for
nurse,
that. Yeah, he's just on the
Yeah.
lam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's not. He's dead. He's dead, Travis.
Yeah, he's dead.
And so they get him out the window. They get him in the van. They do a run, start, getaway, which is again incredibly hilarious. They kind of start heading down the road, and there's a little talk between Olive and Frank about like what's happening to Grandpa. Is he in heaven? And Frank, he's an academic. He doesn't believe in heaven, like obviously, but he's trying to like play the game with Olive, not to upset her about her dead grandpa, and he masterfully sort of manipulates her into telling him that she believes in heaven, and he never answers her question.
Well, I feel
which
like
is probably the right thing to do in that situation.
Well, I don't know that it's manipulative so much as I think he like empowers her to think about her own beliefs and like by asking her questions. And
Yeah, I think I think you're right. I think he doesn't manipulate. I think he empowers her to talk about her beliefs.
Gold star.
Yes. Yes.
I think you were just now empowered as well, Kevin. You were not manipulated into that opinion.
Yeah, me too. Well, anyway, they get pulled over. They're transporting a dead body. They also their horn breaks when they get cut off and they like beep.
Yes.
And so then for the rest of the movie, the horns just continually
Beep,
beeping.
beep.
I love this.
I love,
And it's just inconsistent enough to drive you nuts, right? So, anyway, they get pulled over by Hank from Breaking
Dean
Bad.
Norris.
Yeah,
Yep.
Dean Norris. And as Travis alluded to,
my favorite part of the movie,
Wow.
hands down.
so
Love all of this.
so he gets Travis. Tell us about it. You this is your favorite part.
It's all about the horn to me. The horn is making it's kazoo music in the background and it's just adding this layer of nonsense to what could be a serious situation where you're getting pulled over because you have a dead body in the back. And then he goes up and he asks him, he's like, "You had a little trouble with your horn?" He's like, "Yeah." And he asks, "Reckon your act's suspicious enough to make this cop beg
He's
for
literally
him
like,
to
"No,
get
don't
out
look
of the
in the
van, put
trunk. Don't do that."
I know.
Stop it.
What are you doing, you idiot? He's like, "You just gave me, probable cause to search." And it's like, dude, how can you be so stupid?
Well,
He cracks open the van and you think, oh no, there sits Grandpa. There's a dead body. This family's going to the gulag. But no, Grandpa left, we all know he left some magic magazines behind. Kev, your favorites.
yeah.
Jugs.
Dean Norris's favorites too. And Buns and Ammo is my favorite.
Yeah, so
Those are the best.
So he opens up the back. He doesn't even notice the dead body because these porno magazines followed. And I love how skeezy he is as a character. He's like, "Yeah, this is one of my favorites. Ooh, I like
Now,
this one."
this guy is a pervert.
Yeah, he sure
Yeah.
is.
I don't think he'd hurt a child, but yeah, he's a pervert for sure.
But he doesn't want
Huge
the
pervert.
Buns and Ammo, which is the
Yeah.
gay
You
pornography.
can keep this one.
And then he gets on the motorcycle and leaves. Here's an interesting note.
Let's not forget the
Yeah.
horn the whole time. Horn never
Absolutely.
stopping.
And this is the Matrix. There is no spoon, or which one comes first, whatever. I don't know, the Matrix. But listen, Grandpa saved them by buying those porno mags,
I
right?
know.
But he also
did.
put them in that situation by dying. So
Wow.
It's genius.
it's the conundrum of Grandpa. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
anyway, they managed to escape unarrested for transporting this body. And then, oh yeah,
you
that
talking-
line, yeah, when
right.
when
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Cheryl asks him, "Hey, what happened back there?" He's like, "I don't know. I'll let you know when I regain consciousness."
Yeah.
Because it was such a waste.
I like that a lot.
Well, in the car, Olive decided she finally.
They got the
Oh yeah, they got to do a roll start.
Yeah.
They wait for
they
the.
got to do another roll
They
start.
wait for the cop to
They
leave.
wait for the cop to leave.
And so they're going down the road, and Olive is finally getting to do her eye test on the family, and she's doing
yes.
it on Dwayne. And
Dude, I saw this coming right here. I was like, oh, I was putting it together from the room. I was like, oh, this is not going to be good, dude.
Paul Dano
I already felt sad at this moment.
does straight up look like somebody with bad eyesight, though. Like he does. Like I was just like, that man can't see.
I'm gonna ask you to explain yourself a little bit. Why you say that?
You wear glasses, you know.
I'm not wearing them right now. How would you know?
You
It's
look
'cause
like
you're
you're having
squinting so
trouble
hard.
seeing.
I'm wearing contacts, you dorks.
Why are you squinting? Squinting.
Yeah, quit squinting. Well, anyway, turns out he's not near or farsighted. He's colorblind. And then, of all things, Frank at this time just messes up. He's like, "Well, you're not going to be able to be a pilot if you're colorblind." Not true, by the way. You can be a pilot if you're colorblind, so don't give up.
Oh, that's good to
Makes
know.
it a little more.
I didn't know
difficult,
about
but
that.
Anyway,
Well, I thought that was going to be. I think he said it for the audience. Or probably a lot of people didn't put that together, but I always thought that was true. That's why I was so kind of distraught for Dwayne here.
I mean,
You're serious though.
I don't know. I don't work for the Air Force, but I did Google it. And it's like, yeah, you have to pass some other tests, and there might be some special things that need to happen in the cockpit. But yeah, you
I didn't know that.
Colorblind.
See, I don't know. I mean, it does seem kind of important to be able to see red distinctly.
I mean, as long as the light flashes.
Yeah, out of all the green, because the Earth's mostly green, Kev.
Is it? Is that right? Oh, I had no idea.
It's a lot of. Well, it's, I guess mostly blue, technically.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah, this scene is crucial. I mean, this is like,
This tore me up.
This scene is,
and as the Dwayne sympathizer here, I felt like this one hit me pretty hard because you could just see his everything, his whole world is coming like crashing down, and poor little Olive doesn't realize she's doing it, and until way too late. And so they stop the car, and Dwayne's having this just absolute meltdown, and he gets out of the car and he finally just unleashes all this pinup not speaking. He finally speaks for the first time, and I believe he just starts cursing. And then he tells, that's very good, Travis. He tells his family members exactly what he thinks of them. He's like, "You're divorced. You're bankrupt. You tried to kill yourself." Like, he roasts the whole family except Olive. Roasts the whole family, and then just falls to his knees and is just hyperventilating. And then, much like any of us in a family, when something like this happens, like, who's gonna go talk to him? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to do here.
Well, mom approaches. She does, and he's not soft about it. She leaves feeling not better about it. But then they get the bright idea, maybe send little Olive down there on a rescue mission, and I think that's a great idea.
And Richard's like, well, he looks around for a second. He's like, "Olive, you go talk to him."
Everyone else is like, "Don't." I'm like, I think this is a good idea.
Yeah, she does. She doesn't even talk. She just goes and gives him a hug.
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right."
Because those two have a bond. We've seen it.
I think he just needed a minute again to grieve his dream and somebody to care about him. And it had to feel like a hell of a relief to finally be able to talk too.
Yeah.
Also, one of the cutest parts of this movie is watching little Olive go down that hill in her boots.
I know. And then when he brings her back up and he kind of picks her up for the last
he picks her up.
Yeah. I also just want to call out like some of my favorite shots in the whole movie are in this scene, like the framing of the van and the family members at the top of the hill against that blue sky, and like it's just gorgeous.
I agree.
Love it.
Great
job.
Canary yellow van too. Gotta love that, man. Well, she hugs him.
Yeah.
He gets over it, and he comes back to the van, and they're all out trying to finally get to this. He also apologizes too. He's like, "I'm sorry, guys.
He does.
I didn't mean that."
Yeah.
Man, Dwayne is really the MVP of this family, frankly.
I'm a huge fan.
Well, they finally get to where they could see right off the highway where the hotel is, where this pageant is happening. After everything they've been through, and then like they get turned around on the interstate, they take the wrong exit, and Richard's like, "No, we're getting there." So he takes his little van off road, smashes through one of those little barriers that drops down for a parking lot, screeches in, tires halfway in a parking space, halfway out. And Frank jumps out because they are down to the wire. Like is getting
this van
close.
has no seatbelts in it.
None.
Didn't even come with them.
No.
This scene, I was cracking up through this scene. Like I've seen this movie so many times, and this whole section just had me cackling. Just the chaos. They're busting through,
the van door falls off,
and they're all kind of like screaming at each other, and it felt very familiar. Like it felt like certain moments with my family, and the chaos that can come with that, and it's just so well orchestrated, and I don't know. It's just so good. It's so funny.
Also, they park the van in such a way. Get a good roll start.
Yeah,
it's all in the details.
Very wise thinking. You get a Steve Carell run because I guess he's the fastest, and he's like sprinting through to try to get to the registration desk, and
he runs like the Terminator about
Wow. Wow.
That's heavily specific,
it's
but I
accurate.
appreciate it. He does. He really does. Now that you've said it, I can't unsee it. Well, he gets
thanks.
there, and everybody, the family, is close behind on the heels, and they're just a little too late, according to the clock in the lobby. And they meet like the turdiest turd pageant director of all time. She's like, I'm sorry, the other families were here on time. And Richard falls to his knees and is begging this woman, and she's going to say no. But then the other hero of the movie, Kirby, says, it's only going to take 5 minutes. I'll put him in. No problem.
I'm not doing this next year.
No, he does not want to work for. So he gets him in, gets him registered, and so we've made it. Okay, Olive is going to be able to kind of be in the pageant now.
She can compete. Yeah,
we find out that he's calling a funeral home. Richard is, to come pick Grandpa up out of the back of the van, which is probably good. She gets, and Olive gets to meet, this is also, I really love this scene, gets to meet Miss California, and she asks Miss California if she eats ice cream, and she's like, yeah, I love ice cream.
Yeah.
I love that.
yeah.
So the funeral home comes and picks up Gramps out of the back of the van, and there's this like little moment where it's a nice moment where it occurs to him that his dad's gone, as the funeral home van is driving away, and he's just got this little box of his dad's possessions. And we kind of cut back into, and it's a lot of cutting back and forth. Frank and Dwayne decide that they don't really want to hang around this pageant scene. It's weird, so they go outside. And just in general, these pageants are so, not if that's a fun hobby for you and your kid, and that's a thing that you guys do together. I get it. But
you're
the environment
freak.
to me seems
Sorry,
so
if
weird.
you do this.
Stop doing it. You're gross, Kevin.
No.
Stop going to
didn't say I
pageants,
was
Kev.
doing
You
it.
don't
I
even
was
have
just trying
kids.
to yuck on
Stop
I
somebody
will
going.
else's
yuck on
fun,
that
you
yum
know?
100%. That is so. And like, look at these kids. They're so scary. It's all so scary.
Grandpa loved it though.
No, he didn't. That is why he did her. Anyway, we'll get there. We'll get there,
Travis. We'll get there. Well, the pageant environment is, in my opinion, very weird. And we have Kirby come back. He's like, "What's your music for your routine?" And she hands him the CD. And he's like, "Did you pick this out?" And she's like, "Yeah, track 13," which is a little foreshadowing to maybe it's going to
Track
be
12.
track
Come on, Kevin.
12. Thank you, Travis. Maybe it's going to be a little. Maybe it's going to be a little unorthodox. We don't know.
Right. Yeah. Surprise the DJ.
She works up.
What do you think about this MC, Kev?
Oh no! Now this guy, that's a pedophile.
Okay.
Oh, 100%. That's the blueprint.
That is.
I
a
was actually
pedophile.
going to say he reminds me a lot of Travis's characters. In improv, right? Really kind of reminds me of like that like cheesy, goofy character that Travis does.
Yeah.
No, I can Wait, are you being serious?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I
don't. It doesn't remind me of
that guy does not
Travis
remind-
as Travis. No, it reminds me of one of his characters.
Oh, that makes it
Yeah.
a little better.
I
One of his
don't know.
characters.
Well, anyway, that guy is terrifying, and his face scares me deeply.
Yeah.
Well, there's a really creepy Twin Peaks-esque host for the beauty pageant, and we're seeing all of
That's a
the
good way to put it.
kids, and they are dressed in swimsuits, and it's they're entirely too revealing, in my opinion, for a kid that age.
In everybody's opinion.
Little Olive, you can see how like she's wearing a more conservative swimsuit. She's got some body image, maybe stuff that she's like trying to overcome. And she walks out, she builds up her confidence, and she walks out, and she gets some applause. She makes eye contact with her dad. Her dad's Richard is just so freaking proud of his kid, and it's like it is kind of hard to hate him. I can kind of see a little bit of what Cheryl liked about him. Like, this is the guy that she liked.
He's proud but uncomfortable. Like I think he doesn't really want her to be here.
Yeah, no, I think
sees all the
he's
other
like
students.
looking
None of us
around
do.
and he's like, okay, this is
Right.
weird, and obviously my daughter isn't one of these people. She doesn't look like those kids on that stage, and I think he's sort of just like, whoa. All right. I mean, I think he's like really trying to lend
Yeah.
himself to the experience, but
He's trying to be supportive, but also he feels like it's something that should be mocked. But he wouldn't do it in front of his daughter because she wants to do this.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the contrast of, like, you sort of mentioned this, Kevin, but like all these little girls in these like ridiculous, like adult looking bathing suits, and they're caked with makeup. Their hair is ridiculous. They look scary. And Olive just looks like a human child. She just looks like a natural human being. And I don't even think that she's necessarily self-conscious out there. She's like shy, and it's like a little overwhelming maybe, but I just see her kind of being like, I'm doing my walk now.
I love I think I read a lot of pride on her dad's face, but maybe that's just because I want fathers to be proud of their children. But one of my favorite little bits in this is when the host is crooning and he can't sing. He's really a bad singer, and Olive is just looking at him like,
she's
dude,
it's horrible.
stop.
Her face is great.
And all the other little girls are just kind of grinning.
Kevin, to your point, I agree that I guess later on in the scene, I think his expression really does start to turn to one of pride and like just like full embrace of her and who she is and what she's.
I don't think he wants to get her out of there yet. And I'll get to that when we get to that part. But we kind of cut out to Uncle and Neff out on the dock. Kind of talking about life and suffering, and Uncle Frank kind of gets Dwayne a little more interested in living life again. He's like, you're in high school. This is the best suffering life is going to give you. Like, you got to really appreciate it and enjoy it. It's like, you know what? Yeah, I think you're right. Let's head back inside. So I think that's pretty deep. It's deep in a way.
I think it did a good job of tying like his Proust pieces to Dwayne.
and I think there's something they're
good.
giving each other in this scene, right? Like, I think in Frank talking to Dwayne about why life is worth living and experiencing and suffering through, it's also something
he's convincing himself.
He's reminding himself of, right? So,
and Dwayne's hyping himself back up. He's like, if I'm going to fly, I'm going to fly. And he says life is just a bunch of beauty pageants. And I love that, like, once he opens up and kind of, spills his beans a little bit and talks about it, Frank's like, you're smarter than you look.
Or
you're not as
he said,
stupid
you're
as
not
you look.
half as stupid as
great.
you look.
Yeah.
Love.
So they head back in, and we've reached the talent portion where these girls are like doing these crazy dance numbers, singing these songs, and I think this is when Richard starts to go, oh no, Olive. Although none of them have seen her actually perform,
which is bizarre in a way.
They just think that like they just think she can't compete, or maybe or whatever. They just think her routine can't compete. Literally, Frank and Dwayne go in the room for a minute, and then they walk out. We gotta get her out of here. That is not gonna go over well. So they all end up backstage, and they're telling Cheryl like, "Oh, hey, sweetie, you're gonna do great." Look, Cheryl, we've got to get her out of here. These kids, they're all gonna laugh at her. This is gonna be really bad, and it's kind of building us up. Too, as the audience, so we're kind of anticipating this, and so then they all kind of disagree about it as far as like Cheryl with the fellas.
I gotta agree with Cheryl.
We gotta let Olive.
As much as I don't want her to do it, we gotta let Olive be Olive.
Yeah,
we're here.
I think Cheryl. That's like one of my favorite Cheryl moments in the whole movie. Is just her response to that. Is that like she's worked so hard for that moment.
All of their feelings are valid, but I think the right move is to whatever Olive wants, and so you're kind of on everyone's side here, even though everyone kind of disagrees a little bit.
But I also agree that Cheryl is right to just let her be her, and she's worked so hard for this, and to just let her have her moment, and it will be what it will be.
See, there's a third side of this. If it were my family, they'd be like, we drove all the way here and your grandpa died. You were getting on that stage.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been their level of support. So Olive decides to do it. She's going to go out and do her routine. And there's a shot that I really love of her walking away with like the stage manager and all three of them watching her walk away down that hall. And they're like, you just feel what they're feeling. I really love that. And
that stagehand, or whatever you would call the person like that escorts her, is Chloe from 24, and she's like notably quirky in that show. And I really love seeing her on screen here because she's not any different here than she is in that show. She's extremely emotive and like frumpy, but kind of a wise ass. I love it.
Thanks for the 24 reference, by the way. They all run in. They're going to catch the performance. And it kind of builds into it a little bit, but Olive comes out on stage and she's like, I want to dedicate this performance to my grandpa and who taught me all of his dance moves. And then the host is like, where is grandpa? He's in the trunk of our car. Which I love.
Which is not true, by the way.
But she doesn't know that. That's where they left. Yeah, that's
she
where
doesn't
she
know
thought she left him. So
I'm goofy.
The music starts for her dance routine, and it's super freak, super freaky, and she's doing kind of a body routine to it, but she's completely oblivious. She has this sweet little grin on her face, and she's just doing her moves like her grandpa taught her, and she starts like, slapping her butt and pulling like clothes off. So she's wearing a different outfit underneath. And it is so funny and hard to watch at the same time. And my favorite, there's a couple of things that I love in this scene. Number one, Miss California loves it. She's like, this is awesome. This kid's got a future, You see a creepy look from the host, which I also don't, which ties into what Haley was saying. And then, like, people start to get, like, uncomfortable and leave, and they're like, this girl's not good, you suck. And Uncle Frank's like, oh, I'll kill him.
Yes.
And it kind of plays out where, like, the family supports her for the routine. So, like, they start standing up and, like, clapping to block out the booze and all of the other bad things. And then that really awful host she shakes her butt right in the judges' faces, which is hilarious. And the host tries to stop her from doing her routine because the show pageant director, whatever, tells him to. And that's when Richard gets on stage, like, you're not stopping my little girl. Get out of the way. He pushes. They're like tussles happening. The whole family ends up on stage. And it's this moment where they're all just dancing and like letting all the emotions that they maybe have carried out and just celebrating with each other that like they made it, and they're having this moment to Rick James' Super Freak. And it's
so
beautiful.
good.
That's all.
It's
it
so
is
good. It just fills me with joy, this scene.
Travis, what did you feel?
I mean, it's awkward. It's meant to be, but I think that's the joy of it. You see the family come together despite this. And when Dwayne gets up there, that's when I really cracked a tear. I was like, that's my boy. That's my boy up there. He's emoting. He's one of them.
And the way they're all supporting her. And so like, right, her routine is provocative. And and Kirby's into it. Kirby loves it.
Yeah, Kirby loves it.
Yeah, he's like, we're keeping this going.
Because Kirby could have stopped the music. Kirby's like, no,
yeah.
doing this.
Well, but so like, this is where I think Grandpa knew exactly what he was doing, and he knows these people are terrifying freaks that all are sexualizing their children, and like, that is like, and like, it's so hilarious that all these people are like walking out, and the judges are like, oh, they're like clutching their pearls because of her routine, when like,
except Miss California, she's having a good time.
Yeah, except Miss California.
Was that the real Miss California?
Let's just say it
by
is.
The way, do we know?
I think it might have been. I don't know for sure, but in my head, she always has been actually the real Miss California.
Wouldn't it be kind of awkward for her? Because isn't this kind of like throwing shade at pageantry? Would she be?
It's probably not really her.
Well,
Now that we're thinking about it
either
again? I don't
way,
know.
she likes the routine. Kirby likes the routine, and there's one random guy that like Greg Kinnear's character talked to earlier who really seemed to like it for some reason. Now again, the laws of this state are very strange, and how you deal with bodies, as well as they basically, I don't know what they were actually arrested for, but they were all sat outside the pageant director's office or whatever, and they're had been arrested for something, dancing maybe. I don't know what they were actually being arrested for. Maybe they were asked to leave and they didn't, so they were going to do trespassing charges. I don't know. But anyway, the cop comes out and he's like, well, listen, I can get you off the hook as long as you never enter her into another pageant again. And they're like, yeah, we can do that. That's fine.
Can do. Another interesting little connection. That cop is an actor in Better Call Saul. So Breaking Bad universe.
I think he's also in Last Man on Earth, was where I recognized him from. I love that guy. He's super funny in that show. Yeah, Todd, I think is his name.
Yeah, did you guys know he was also in Little Miss Sunshine?
Kevin.
So thanks.
Get out of here.
I'm part of the
No,
team.
he doesn't get a star for that one. I determine who gets stars. Travis.
Oh, it was a joke. I'm sorry. It was just a little jokey joke.
Travis,
just
please
a joke.
don't
All it was.
besmirch the star system. Okay.
I'm sorry. I said I was sorry. Okay. I don't know what else to say.
Well, anyway, they end up doing a roll start to get in the van. They smash out of the parking barrier, going the other way this time. They get one more disapproving scowl from the pageant director, and then they ride off into the sunset, a better family for their journey.
I really wanted them to go get ice cream.
Yeah, that would have been nice. I
really wanted that. I think that would have turned me on Dad a little bit if he had endorsed the ice cream.
I think Dad redeems himself by then. I can see what Cheryl saw in him, like why she, because he is a good guy.
I think
he's just an idiot sometimes.
Totally. And what guy isn't? Am I right?
You're right, boss. You're right.
No, but in all seriousness, I agree, Kevin, and I think I don't know that it totally redeems his behavior in the first part of the movie, but I think it feels like this is marking a new chapter for him as a person. Like, I feel that after this movie ends, like, he's going to be approaching life with a less rigid mindset around winning, and his whole system. And I feel like there are a lot of little key moments, right, leading up to the end there, and that the dance and everything, where there are these like key vulnerability moments for him that he leans into, and that's really powerful. Anyway,
Travis, what did you think? How did you feel, rather than the freaking movie we're doing a podcast on, man? Come on.
Oh, but what part?
I don't know.
What are you getting at?
I'm not sure, Travis.
Specifically.
Travis, what were you left feeling at the end of this film?
They're definitely on a road to a better place. They started out pretty dysfunctional, and this journey has forced them through proximity to understand each other more and appreciate each other despite each other's flaws. And they're going to move on to better things, hopefully. We don't really know. It's open-ended. Families tend to fall back on their dysfunction, but we're left with hope, and I think that's what we have to embrace.
I mean, they've only got one grandpa to bury, so let's hope this one works.
I feel like it's sort of like they are dysfunctional, families are dysfunctional, people are dysfunctional in many ways, but we know that they love each other and that they're there for each other. And so come what may, they have this experience together,
This movie, I kind of think about it. There were a bunch of indie movies that kind of came out around this same time that have like kind of the same vibe in a lot of ways. I think this one's probably my favorite out of those.
It's the best out of all those.
Yeah. Well, I'm. Who am I to qualify? You obviously. You are 100% correct.
I am
as the boss. Yes, you are. You are absolutely. Yeah, but I'm just talking about me, little old Kev. This one is definitely kind of my favorite, and I think it is because of those characters' journeys. There's like a lot of those cute, quirky little indie movies. Like you don't really feel like the characters change or it's consequential in a lot of cases. And this one, you feel like it is obviously somebody dies. That's always consequential, but like that they all did change because of their journey. And I really like that a lot. So I think that's a super fun thing. Now, Travis, who cares what we think? Obviously, but no one. But what about those post-credit reviews?
I've got them for you if you want them. I've got them.
Lay them on me, thick and heavy, a la Modi style.
Oh.
Yeah, I will do that. I'm gonna start from the bottom. We're gonna end on a good note. We're gonna end on a light note. Okay. We had some people, all shades, all colors, all folks watch movies, and they all feel like they have a voice on the internet. So some people rate things undeservingly a half star when they're not quite deserving of that. So we have a half star from Leonora. This is 2025, late last year. I was literally ready to give this one 4.5 stars, but then the weird-ass pedophilic beauty pageant happened. What the actual that? And I just want to pause there and be like, did you not know that that's what it was going toward the whole time?
Where they were going, yeah.
And when the dad and Dwayne were saying that they don't want Olive to go on, I really thought that this would be a clear message against beauty pageants for children because they're fucking weird. But no, the issue is that Olive is not a beauty queen. F this movie.
Haley, you've got some feelings. I can tell you've already got some feelings, Haley. What are those feelings?
Feels like that person very much misunderstood that, why, yes, I do think it was very much a message against beauty pageants and that is a ridiculous system and certainly just absurd for children to be a part of. But, it's obviously so much bigger than that, but the framework of Olive being part of that, it is a huge part of the message, and I feel like that really went over her head. That person's head. I don't know. It seems like she's a woman. Maybe. I don't know.
Tell me about it. All right, and then we've got a half star from Ida back in 2021. Seemed fine till the 9-year-old twerked at me. Not a fan. and I'll be honest, if that's the part that turned you off, I'm kind of glad that you didn't finish watching the movie.
Yeah, if you're gonna,
I'm glad that you're against twerking 9-year-olds.
Yeah, I
think you missed most of the movie, is what I'll say.
Yeah. Again, it just seems like that just went over that person's head.
Or maybe this just made them grossly uncomfortable, and that's what it is. But she's also 7 in the movie, so maybe pay attention, Ida. Then we've got 3-star from Tucci, Tuce. This is back in 2026. They're middle of the road here with these 3 stars. They say entertaining but overrated.
I think it's.
How do you slice that?
I know you're not asking me, but I'm gonna give Haley a second to simmer on that. I think it's appropriately rated. It's not under or overrated because people really like this movie. It's very well thought of, and I think that's where it should land.
I agree, Kevin.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's rated exactly where it deserves to be rated.
Yeah, I think it's rated well. I do think it's sort of under spoken about, or under. It's not the zeitgeist. No one's bringing it up but Haley.
I agree. It is amazing how often, having been my favorite movie for many years, and like being a movie person and like enjoying talking to movies with other people, it's crazy how often I encounter other movie people that are like, oh yeah, I saw that movie. I think it's a good, like it just seems to have been forgotten about by most people. And so I agree. I feel like it's under talked about and
underappreciated maybe. I think people should watch it during different phases of life. I think it speaks to you in different ways as you move through the world.
Indeed. Indeed, and this is why I watch it every 3 years.
We got another 3 stars from Salma Hussein back in 2025. And I like this one because I felt the same. Can't believe I got to see normal Paul Dano without him killing someone or being an actual psychopath.
Right? That's nice.
He's just a regular old Dwayne.
Yeah.
He's just a regular
So
old Dwayne.
likable.
Just a normal kid. Just a normal kid. Then we got a 5-star. Now we're getting to the good stuff.
Oh.
We're getting a 5-star from Lucy back on literally the day that COVID happened. In March of 2020. In quotes, everybody just pretend to be normal. One of my all-time favorites, and it never gets old. This is one of the examples I always reference when asked about my favorite dialogue in film. And I don't think we mentioned that when we watched it, but I really like that line. It sounded like a slip. It was like everyone act normal, but everyone pretend to be normal carries a different weight because they're all
So
a little
true.
kooky.
I agree.
All right, then the last one, and my favorite quote of the whole movie. I'm making this all about me. 5 stars by Eden. Back, actually today. This is fresh off the press. I didn't even notice that. If I want to fly, I'll find a way to fly.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yep.
Dwayne out there, Dwayneing. You know what I mean?
And he can, because apparently Kev has shared that he had nothing to worry about.
I mean,
Do you think he'll get mad that he broke his vow of silence for no reason when he finds out that he can get in colorblind?
no, I think you got like some like dispensation there if you think that you've been disqualified from from
The Proust scholar also announced it. He said, you
Oh,
can't
I do.
fly
Oh,
plane colorblind.
we missed this when we were going through the plot. And there's just so many little moments in there, but I love. But there's a moment where they're like sitting outside the beauty pageant, and Steve Carell picks up a periodical of some kind. And it has an ad for the guy that took his lover away that says he's the #1 Proust scholar. And he's just like, oh, bruh. I love that. Like, of all things, man.
As if that's a thing you'd find. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
a lot of
so
Proust
good. Yeah, I like that.
scholars at child beauty pageants for sure. With a budget of around $8 million, Little Miss Sunshine had a box office of around $100 million. Premiering at Sundance, this little indie film that has become a well-respected piece of cinema from the early 2000s that, in no small way, feels like a work of art firmly situated in its time. As the first family drama comedy road trip movie that springs to mind for me, I mean, you know, that old chestnut, hundreds of them, I have to say that it is a charming look into the family dynamics that shows sometimes our quirks and, dare I say, defects are what make us perfectly human and connect us in unexpected ways to those we love. It embraces failure not as something to be avoided, but as an inevitable and even necessary part of growth and connection. In doing so, the film leaves a lasting impression that success is less about winning and more about showing up for the people who matter most. And also proves that Steve Carell had some serious acting chops, which I appreciated. He had sad eyes, guys. Sad puppy dog eyes.
Amen.
He sure did, Kev. As you do often.
Thank you.
Lighten up, bud. You're okay. Hey, I'm proud of you, Kev.
Hey.
Listen, shh. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Travis. I really appreciate that.
Well, we enjoyed it, and if you enjoyed this podcast, you can catch me on lots of other podcasts like Polykill and Drunk Friend over on the Polymedia Network. You can catch Kevin over on the Board Game Podcast, Blue Peg, Pink Peg. You can catch all 3 of us on stage in the Roanoke area with Big Lit Conspiracy doing improv comedy. And if you want to keep our van running, support the show on Patreon as the Polymedia Network. We want to thank our Little Miss Sunshine winner and pal Harvest Black for that super freaky theme song. And just like our Uncle Doug always says,
You know what? Life is one beauty contest after another. If I want to fly, I'll find a way to fly. You do what you love and the rest.